everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Jill and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I am thankful for. So let's get started. So today in the United States it is Thanksgiving, so I thought this would be a really fun video to do and talk a little bit about books that I am very thankful for various different reasons I will get into. Most of these just have impacted me in lots of different ways. I'm going to talk about some books that, got me into reading as a child, and then some recent favorites and books that I'm really thankful for. And yeah, so I thought this would be a fun video to do, so yeah, let's just get started, shall we? So just starting off with some books that I read from childhood that I'm just so thankful for. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Matilda by Roald Dahl. Matilda was one of those books that I read over and over and over again when I was little. This is my favorite book from childhood. It got me into reading so much. I just loved it so much. It's such an inspiring story about this girl named Matilda, and she is very smart, and she goes to this school, and the headmistress there is just awful, and I thought it was so inspiring, and I'm just so thankful that this exists and that I was able to read it, because it's my favorite book from when I was little, and it honestly probably made me into the reader I am today, so I'm very thankful for this one. Next up, I'm going to talk about the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, and I'm thankful for this book for various different reasons. The first one is that I was really close to my first grade teacher. This was like way in the past, but I was really close to my first grade teacher, and she was actually leaving the school when I think I was in third grade. She was leaving, and she actually, before she left, she gave me the entire hardback series of Unfortunate Events. I have all of them on my shelves, and she said, I think you will really love this series, and I really did. I read it. I didn't finish it, okay? I only got up to book 5 actually, but I have all the books, and I will never ever get rid of them because I was so close to that first grade teacher, and she inspired me in so many ways, and this is just sort of like every single time I look at my bookshelves, I think of her, and she honestly was so influential to me in my life. So yeah, I'm very thankful that this exists and that I was able to get the entire series from someone that I really admired. So yeah. Hopefully I'll actually eventually read the entire series soon, because I read the first 3 again during book 2-a-thon, but I never continued on. I should make that a priority. Yeah. Next up, I'm going to talk about Inkheart by Cornelia Funk, and actually my really good friend Rayanne from Reading Rayanne. I feel like I mention her in every single video, but she sent me this for my birthday, which is just so sweet, and now I finally have another copy of it. So yeah, Inkheart was another one that I think I read about 3 or 4 times when I was little. I just thought the story was fabulous. I loved it. If you don't know, this is basically about this girl named Meg, and her father, when he reads, he like brings the stories to life, and it's just really awesome. And this is like, if you love to read this book, because it's honestly so amazing, and it really did get me back into reading when I was like in 4th grade. I get the timeline mixed up, but it really did get me back into reading, because like I said, I read this book so many times, and I think this is just perfect for book nerds, because it's about reading books and they come alive. Isn't that really cool? So yeah, I'm really thankful that I read this, and I love it so much. The next book I want to talk about is the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. I'm thankful for this because it really helped me get into Greek mythology. I'm taking Greek, actually the language, this year for school, and we learned a little bit about Greek mythology, but I already knew like all of it from Percy Jackson, which was just so cool. And I'm really thankful for what this sort of series has done for reading in general. It is really awesome. It got a lot of people into reading. It is still getting a lot of people into reading. I mean, I know people who never read ever who read this book and love it, because it's just so wonderful, and it just really impacted the book world in a positive way, and it made people want to learn about Greek mythology and everything. So yeah, I'm very thankful for this. Next up, I want to talk about Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. You guys knew that this book was coming. I think this is probably the book that I am most thankful for. It's sort of hard to describe exactly how thankful I am for it. I don't think reading would be the same as it is today if it was not for this series. I don't think young adult would be the same. I don't think middle grade or middle reader would be the same. I honestly don't. And this series has such a huge fandom and still to this day has such a huge following. This is like the pinnacle of literature for like this time period, and I'm just so thankful that I got to read it when I was little, and then I got to reread it recently, and I just am so thankful. And I don't think that I will ever stop being thankful for this series because it honestly has changed the world and made reading like amazing and cool, and I just will forever, ever, and ever be so thankful that Harry Potter exists because it brings so many people together and it just makes communities form, and I'm so thankful for it. Obviously, this is a given because I'm sure everyone in the book world is thankful for Harry Potter. Next up, I want to talk about Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I actually just recently met Stephenie Meyer, just so I can show off that signature. Look at that. So anyway, I just read Twilight about a year ago, so it wasn't like anything that necessarily affected me, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because I'm very thankful for what this book did for young adult. Obviously, I read a bunch of YA, and I don't think the young adult genre would be the same if not for Twilight. Twilight was kind of the first, like, really fangirling series, I feel like. I was never in that phase, but I know lots of people were, and I think that got a lot of people into reading who wouldn't have been reading otherwise. And I think it just sort of changed the young adult genre in very wonderful ways. I know some people do not like this series, some people hate it, they think it's stupid. I just read it a year ago and I loved it, and I really love what it has done for the young adult genre. So yes, of course I'm thankful for Twilight. I will always be thankful for Twilight and what it has done for the book community. Now, some more recent sort of favorites that I'm just really thankful that got me into reading young adult. That first one being The Mortal Instruments by Cassie Clare. I actually only have 5 and 6 in this series. I haven't picked up 1 through 4 yet, so I'm going to be showing you this one. But basically, The Mortal Instruments was the first young adult series that I read, and it got me into young adult. I remember one of my best friends at the time had like 1 through 4 or whatever, and she said, "Oh, I think you might like this," and I just took City of Bones home and I read it, and I was just so completely in love. I feel like I was 12 or something, because I remember like the age range in this series is like 14 and up, and I felt like such a rebel reading it when I was like 12. But anyway, I just am so thankful for this series because this originally got me pushed into the young adult genre and had me looking more towards young adult as opposed to middle readers. So yes, I'm definitely thankful for this series, and also again, I feel like young adult wouldn't be the same without this series, so again, thankful for that. And after I read the Mortal Instruments series, I sort of took a break from reading. I didn't really read a lot during that time of my life, but then Hunger Games happened. This is, again, I feel like these are all like the same, but this is another series that got me back into young adult after reading like the first few books of the Mortal Instruments series. I feel like this is the first series that I completely binged that was young adult, because obviously like the Mortal Instruments, it wasn't a finished series, but I remember like reading all these books back to back, and I remember reading this one in like a day, Catching Fire in a day, and Mockingjay in like a day. And again, I'm thankful for what this has done for the young adult community. After Twilight and the Mortal Instruments and Harry Potter and everything, this was sort of the new and fresh book that came out. And yeah, so I'm just really thankful for this. This was sort of the first young adult series that I completed, and yeah, it has done loads for the book community, and I'm very thankful for it. Next up, I have Legend by Marie Lu. This will always be close to my heart because so I read The Hunger Games and Divergent, and then I took another break because apparently, whatever, but I promise this is the last one. This book was the one that got me into reading, and I haven't stopped. This is like, I read the Legend trilogy by Marie Lu because I love the covers, and I loved like how they felt really good, and I was like, I'll read that. So this was the first series that I read after The Hunger Games and Divergent, and since then I have not stopped reading. I read so much, and I owe it to this series. I honestly love this series with all my heart. I actually made one of my really good friends read it back in the day, and he really liked it. I just am so thankful for this series because again, it has pushed me into reading young adult permanently, so yes. And just now, 2 recent favorites that I'm just so happy exist, and the first one is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. This is my favorite classic of all time. I read it last year for school. I love it so much. I feel like I can't go more than a few videos without mentioning this book because I love it with all my heart. It's like my favorite thing ever. So yeah, I'm thankful for this just because it's amazing and awesome, and it's my favorite classic. And finally, I couldn't do a books that I'm thankful for video without mentioning Akamath by Sarah J. Maas. This is my favorite book that I've read so far this year for sure. This might be my favorite young adult book ever. It's amazing. I'm just thankful that Recent exists and that Sarah J. Maas exists and that The Night Court exists, and I'm just will forever be thankful that this is in my hands because I love it so much. So there you have it. Those are some of the books that I'm thankful for. Obviously, I'm thankful for mostly all of these books that are on my shelves. Those are just some that stuck out to me. And of course, I am always very, very thankful for this bookish community. I won't go into it very much, but I wouldn't be like sort of how I am today if it wasn't for the booktube community, and so I'm just so thankful for all you guys out there as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new here. Comment down below something that you are thankful for. It doesn't have to be book related or anything like that. And yeah, and if you do live in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're having a wonderful day filled with family and friends or whatever you're doing. I just hope that you're happy. And yeah, so thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys soon in another video. Bye!